Welcome back to another video. Clocked Out Sports is here late night.
Late night.
Still got a lot to talk about. Number one, Eagles got a big win. So, want to talk about that, Jay?
Yeah, man. Eagles finally looking good. Finally looking good. Saquon finally had a game. And it was something that we definitely were waiting for all year as Eagles fans for sure. Finally over 100 rushing yards, so that was good as well. Jalen Hurts had another great day. AJ Brown was out, and the Eagles still flourished. Devontae Smith did an amazing job taking over as number one. And then you had big plays by Jahan Dotson and Dallas Goedert as well. Just an overall team effort. So I couldn't be more happy. It looks like we're really starting to look good at the right time. This is around the time that you're supposed to look your best. So going into the bye, hey man, all smiles over here in Philly.
Oh, you got the bye?
Yeah, we got a bye up there. Yep, we got a bye. So I think next up might be the Packers. If I'm not mistaken. I have to check the schedule, but
Now, Eagles played very well. Best offensively I've seen them this year,
yeah,
like through a whole game.
yeah,
They didn't have AJ Brown, which is gonna let me bring this up. No AJ Brown and your offense is clicking all cylinders. Is this a coincidence? Now here's my big conspiracy theory tinfoil hat on. Eagles should trade AJ Brown to get locker room cohesion and make that offense start to click this year. I think AJ Brown has been a detrimental and a not a cancer, but it's definitely affecting the locker room. His social media tweets and posts, his he even said himself after the Super Bowl, how long will it take before the Super Bowl runs out? It took him 3 days before he's like, man, I don't play this game for the Super Bowl ring. He plays the game to make defenders look silly and to humiliate them. So
yeah.
you gotta, AJ Brown's kind of said it. He plays for the stats now after the ring, and he's playing for his legacy. So I think the Eagles should trade him.
I mean, it's fair. All big ups to AJ Brown. Love AJ. And we know that we hear the media rumblings, and then we hear, we see the tweets, and we hear how he talks, and then when they address it, then he's like kind of has this idea like, oh, I want to be Eagle for life. Everything's fine over here. You guys are just reading into it, but it is becoming a distraction. And I know prior to being Eagles, Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown were very good friends. In college, they were roommates for. I'm not like in the same college, but like there was some kind of camp or something, and they roomed together. And that has changed. It seemed like you saw Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo, excuse me. Always hugging it up on the sidelines, always looking like they're bros, pals, stuff like that. But you never see AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts even like talk. You never see them communicate. So that I've noticed that over the years, and that's a little bit bothersome. I hate to see that, but with that said, the Eagles put up a hell of a game without AJ. That shows that they can do it without AJ, and that also proved Devontae Smith is a very suitable number one. So,
well, it showed that you removed the I don't want to call him a cancer. You removed the drama from the locker room, and the offense started clicking. So it's addition by subtraction.
Basically. Yeah. And I was talking to a guy the other day at my job, and he was talking about how, like, in Jalen Hurts' head, you got a guy who's complaining about touches, complaining about yards, complaining about productivity. And if you think about it as a quarterback, you hike the ball, you drop back, and instead of making the play that is going to put your team in the best position, you have to think that in Jalen Hurts' head, it crosses his mind to say, like, oh, got to get the ball to AJ at least once or twice or else, you know what I'm saying? And that might force a bad play or whatever. So overall, it's not a great thing. And AJ is the only person who has this problem on the team. So I don't know if it's a coincidence that after, the game that he's out, we have our most emphatic win of the season. We have our best game of the season. But what I do know is that if we were to trade him for something better, if we were to trade him for even some picks, and some change, then we would be okay. I truly believe that because Devontae Smith is incredible. And I think in some senses, he's better than AJ Brown. Seriously. And if he was a little taller maybe, but we'll see what happens.
All right. So pivoting, I'm going to talk about the Commanders. So we got belt to ass. Chiefs put belt to ass on us on Monday night. We had quarterback 2, Marcus Mariota, stepping in for Jaden Daniels. Injured once again, unfortunately. I will say the first half, the defense, wow. I was shocked. I did not see that coming. I did not see holding the Chiefs to 7 points in the first half. I did not see 2 picks. Granted, the Marshawn Lattimore, it was a back shoulder to Hollywood Brown. Marshawn Lattimore makes a great, fantastic play. That's prime Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah.
And I love that. He needed that for himself, for his confidence, and for the team to start believing in him again. Oh, man. Shout out to Marshawn for getting that. Travis Kelce, ball comes off his hands. Bobby Wagner is in the right spot. That's a play Travis Kelce makes 1,000 times out of 1,000. But
we had that same situation earlier in the year when we played the Chiefs, where in the end zone, Travis Kelce bobbles a really easy catch, and it ends up being an interception, which sealed the game ultimately. So, hey, man, it might be some inconsistencies on Travis' part. Yes, 1,000 times he's going to make that catch, but just so happens when he's not making those catches, depending on when they happen, it's caused the Chiefs the game. So, I don't know.
Damn, I like how you had to sneak in a little Eagles segment into the Commanders talk. I typical Eagles fan. Typical Philly
Everything's
fan.
About us. I don't know.
The world revolves around cheesesteaks in Philly, bro.
Yeah, and Jalen Hurts. Yep.
Oh, Jalen. Don't get me started. Okay. Offense could not capitalize on 2 turnovers. Bad spot from Zach Ertz. Bad spot by the refs. Whatever. And then on 4th and 1, 4th and 2, Mariota throws it to Terry. He was 1-on-1, but Terry ran. I don't know if it was a play call or Terry thought it was the wrong route or Marcus thought Terry was going to do something else. Ball was it wasn't even close to Terry, so that was just bad. And then Ertz was wide open, but I think Mariota was locked in on Terry just because it was 0 blitz. And I kind of get it. You just made the wrong read. But against the Chiefs, you have to be damn near perfect, if not perfect, to beat them. Yeah. And let me just say, this is why the Chiefs keep winning year in, year out, despite maybe not the best offensive line. Maybe they don't have the best wide receivers. One year, they didn't have the best defense. But it's because Andy Reid and Spags are really the best offensive coach, defensive coach duo in this league. It's not even close. The coaching, you can just see it on the field. Just watch the game. Watch the Chiefs, the whole game. And don't be like, oh, the refs are on their side. No, the Chiefs just play the game better. They execute better. Mahomes is truly elite. He is the GOAT of this generation right now because he sees the field better than any other quarterback. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, the Eagles have the blueprint. Get home with 4, play zone. But if we try to do that, we couldn't get home with 4 because we don't have the pass rushers. And also, Chiefs O-line was bad last year. It's just like, you couldn't do that. Mahomes kept scrambling, running around, and then eventually someone got open. We had good coverage initially, and just Mahomes makes magic.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, all in all, you had the extreme misfortune in playing the Chiefs when they're at their best. We played them when they were still trying to figure things out, and we've seen that over the last few years. If you notice, like, they start the year trying to figure it out. A lot of people say, oh, is the Chiefs dynasty over? I was even one of them. Hey, did we break the Chiefs? But unfortunately, somewhere around this time, they figure it out every year. And you had the misfortune of facing them not only without your starting quarterback, but with them in the middle of that figuring out portion, which is when they're their best. So you unfortunately, maybe on another day, maybe if it was earlier in the year, you might have came up and it might even be reversed. It might have been 28-7, you guys. You know what I'm saying?
It's not who you play, it's when you play them.
It's when you play them. Like if you play, here we go with the Eagles again. If you play the Eagles week 2 or 3, you're not going to see the same team you saw on Sunday. So hopefully, that, dies down for the Chiefs because I'm sick of seeing the Chiefs in in the Super Bowl. But it probably won't. We know how this goes. They're going to probably go and make a very convincing playoff run, and hopefully they don't go to the Super Bowl. But if they do, then hey, that's just more of the Chiefs being the Chiefs, you know?
Chiefs being the Chiefs.
Chiefs being the Chiefs.
I think we covered most of that. Let's talk about the NBA. We're going to switch it up now. NBA gambling. Chauncey Billups arrested for illegal poker games. Terry Rozier and I think Damon Jones arrested for alleged prop betting.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that?
Hey, you know what? I think my question is the NBA doing enough to monitor betting? Right? Like, do we think that the NBA has enough strongholds in place to minimize on this type of thing? I mean, if you remember, Jonte, what's his last name?
Jonte Porter.
Yeah, Jonte Porter, banned for life, had a similar situation, won $50-something thousand of winnings. You know, if you compare it to that, you know what I'm saying? You know, how does this type of stuff happen? You know, I don't know.
It's just insider trading, but with sports. You know, it's like, I mean, you got to like monitor their phones, their text messages, their conversations. They could just they could have their girlfriend be eating dinner, and then Damon Jones could be like, yo, Braun told me he's kind of hurt. He probably won't play that much. And then she'll like call her friends and be like, and then word just spreads that way. It's just so hard to monitor. But yeah. I don't understand the logic or the reasoning why. These guys are getting paid millions of dollars. Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, maybe not Damon Jones, but those two guys definitely got the bag at some point in their career. Yeah. It's like, what's the point? You're getting pennies on the dollar in this gambling stuff.
Greed is the point. And I think greed. People just being greedy, not having enough, always win. It's the same reason why you got like rappers and people like that who are far out of the hood. They're far out of the street lifestyle, but for some reason they're still selling drugs. They're still doing this. They're still in street life. It's because they just can't get enough. Think about Brett Favre, right? Remember all that trouble Brett Favre got into with the welfare fraud and all that stuff. You know, Brett Favre's freaking rich, man. What does he need an extra however much money he made off of that for? What does he need that for? He doesn't need it for anything but his own greed.
It just doesn't understand. It's like Jonte Porter made what, $50,000?
Yeah.
He was going to make millions if he just worked hard and grinded and was like, let me just work on my NBA craft. He could have made millions instead of getting banned for life and only making $50,000. Like, that is insane, bro.
Yeah.
At least bet the over. At least bet on yourself and be like, MJ would bet on himself. Nowadays, bro, MJ would be probably a billionaire, bro.
Yeah.
He would spend $1 million on his over for points.
And I think that would be I think that actually should be legal. If you're gonna bet on yourself, like, fucking, hey, I'm about to go for 50 tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, because if you bet on yourself, like, well, you know, you can only screw that up, you know. But if you bet against yourself or against your team, you start point shaving like Adam Sandler in The Longest Yard, you know, like, you know, you end up in jail. You know, it's just not worth it. And Chauncey Billups, he had a great career. Now that wasn't betting. That was illegal poker.
That's illegal poker, but he was apparently with the mafia, ties to the mafia. So it's like, what do you probably a family man, you got kids, you got a wife. What, you're an NBA coach. Like, you have bread. Like, what is this, bro? NBA coaches basically don't have a life. You have your job and then your family, and that's it. How do you have time to do these illegal poker games?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, right. All in all, though, we'll see what the repercussions are. Obviously, probably going to be a lifetime ban from the NBA. I don't know if Chauncey Billups' situation is going to be the same as Terry Rozier. I feel like Terry Rozier is going to be a little more frowned upon because you're a player.
Terry's done. Terry Rozier is cooked.
Terry's done. You play. You can affect the game quite literally in real time. Whereas Chauncey Billups, yeah, he did some stupid shit that actually could be swept under the rug, and we could forget about it in a few years. He could be back coaching, or he can go to college, or whatever the case is. But hey, man, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
It doesn't make sense from time. I'll just wrap this up really quick. Doesn't make sense from time management. Doesn't make just sense for your legacy. It's just money, like really money. It has to be the thrill or like you said, the greed, the thrill of doing that. Like, you know, you've been a good person your whole life, and then like this is like your midlife crisis kind of wilding out phase you didn't get in college.
Yeah,
I think that's
100%. Yeah.
all right. Shall we pivot? How about Brian Kelly getting fired from LSU and getting $50 million buyout, bro?
Yeah.
Are you insane? You're
Yeah.
mad at you didn't do your job and get a natty for LSU and you get $50 million, bro?
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, listen, Brian never lived up to his expectations at LSU. I don't know what went wrong, but locker room issues, whatever the case is. But what I will say is that buyout is crazy,
bro.
Oh,
50 million. Bro?
I've never gotten fired from a job and got $50 million for it. So I mean, if we played Never Have I Ever, I'd have him out.
That's just insane. Like, in what profession besides like the president, like Congress, where you're just gonna get fired and be bad at your job and get a huge fucking bag?
Yeah, I don't know. But hey, man, so let me ask you a question, Z. Who do you think replaces Brian Kelly?
I don't have a list. I mean, the top of my head is James Franklin, but that's like the same guy. You're getting the same guy.
James Franklin is horrible.
I know, but like I can't think of someone else. Dan Lanning's not going anywhere. Oregon's got bread. Why would you leave that school?
Hey, bring Deion Sanders to LSU, and I would be an LSU fan. Yo, no, I think old Deion. I think old Deion's done. I think after this year, Colorado's doing abysmally right now.
Bro, he went there to coach Shedeur and Travis Hunter, and like now they're gone. So like
now they're gone. He tried it out with Caden Salter, and he's got a couple guys over there, but really it's not going well at all. They're doing really bad. So I think given the fact that he's got a lot of health concerns and all that junk, I think he'd probably be done coaching, period, overall.
How many surgeries has he had? He had like 30 surgeries in some like 10 years or something.
Yeah, he had like cancer, literally just beat it, and like he had surgeries and he had so much, So
he did a lot for Colorado. He got them a lot of money and attention. So
yeah, I mean, just a quick fun fact. And I know we're not like a culture podcast, but after Deion Sanders went to Colorado, and that culture kind of changed over there. They got a massive surge in African American applicants for a predominantly white school. I mean, it's 90% white there, and their black population went, boom, right after. So
I bet.
If you look at their whole team is black. It's crazy.
That's every football team.
Yeah.
Except Wisconsin and Nebraska.
Exactly. Yeah. North Dakota. Yeah.
North Dakota State. That's Josh Allen's score. No, Wyoming.
That's what. No. Carson Wentz went to North Dakota.
Carson Wentz. Yes.
Yeah.
That area is just all white. All white.
Yeah. All those square states in the middle of the country.
All right, so how about we have some time? How about let's talk about your boy, Jalen Hurts. You kind of mentioned this last video where you were like, why isn't Jalen Hurts in the MVP conversation? And Josh Allen is. And I just looked it up. Yes, Jalen Hurts' stats are better than Josh Allen's. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
In your opinion, I think I know where you're headed as, but explain why Jalen Hurts is the MVP this year.
I personally think, listen, I'm going to be real. I don't know that Jalen Hurts is having an MVP level season. My point more is like Josh Allen definitely isn't. So I don't understand the bias with Josh Allen always being in the MVP conversation, even when he's having a shitty year. It doesn't make any sense. And if you're going to put Josh Allen in the MVP conversation, then you have to put Jalen Hurts in the MVP. It doesn't make any sense. Jalen Hurts has been one of the most efficient quarterbacks this year, period. Accuracy, passer rating, just running the offense, reading defenses, doing everything right and putting his team in the best position to win. But for some reason, he's constantly disrespected by the media, constantly disrespected by other fans, constantly disrespected by like the NFL. And the one thing I do love, though, shouts out to Tom Brady. I think we talked about that. No, we didn't talk about that. I talked about it with someone else. Tom Brady has sung this man praises. And I love that Tom Brady, as the GOAT, the best quarterback of all time, recognizes how great Jalen Hurts actually is. And I appreciate that, because where the media, where other commentators, where broadcast journalists, where everybody is trying to undercut him and, try to say, oh, well, he's only done this because he has the best receiving core in football. He only has done this because he's carried by Saquon Barkley. He's only done this. Jalen Hurts has been winning since he got in the NFL. He's been winning before that. But for some reason, he's never mentioned on a top 5 list. There's a debate whether he should be top 5 or not after he's been to 2 Super Bowls. Won one of them, was Super Bowl MVP, was a MVP front runner for a few weeks that first year when we went to the Super Bowl. Has been one of the most efficient quarterbacks, he's thrown 1 interception the entire year. What does he have to do? What does he have to do to get his credit?
I got a few points, some counters. The reason why there's so much Josh Allen bias is because, one, Josh Allen is Superman. Okay, he's this generation's Superman. He makes superhuman plays. He's played at an MVP level for years, so he's always going to get the benefit of the doubt. Even if by the way, his stats aren't that bad. You think he's having a shitty year?
I didn't say he's that bad. I'm not saying he's that bad. What I'm saying is Jalen Hurts has been better. It's clear.
So far, but when a grade of talent and superstar Josh Allen is, he's always going to get the benefit of the doubt, no matter what. And people are banking on him picking up the slack later on during the season. So that's why he's always in the MVP conversation. Because he's always been in the MVP conversation. Jalen Hurts has only been in one MVP conversation. So that's
fair, but we're talking about an MVP of a year. So I get confused because it's like, okay, he's always going to be in the MVP conversation because he's been there before. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's because people are banking on people bank on him. He's going to pick it up later because he's Josh Allen. Jalen Hurts, we've seen him. He's had a couple roller coaster years, especially in 2023. That was a horrendous year.
Yeah. No, I mean
that's my point.
I mean, I feel like the goalposts move with this man so much.
I don't think so. I think we're just realistic on who Jalen Hurts is, and Eagles fans are like, okay, let me ask you a question. Top 5 and this is actually a very important question. Top 5 for Jalen Hurts. Does that mean he's in the Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar, Burrow class where you can just replace either one of them and you're still gonna have a superstar quarterback? Or is he just the 5th best?
Why not? Because are we saying this because he's not the quarterback who falls down and throws a dart, and while he's falling to the ground?
Because he has 2 levels. He hits the check down or he throws the go ball.
Yeah, isn't that most quarterbacks? He's in the middle of the field.
He doesn't throw in the level 2, the intermediate levels. Like we've said this, like you said this too. Like he lacks the zip. He lacks that.
Sometimes he does lack the zip, but
he doesn't.
So far, it doesn't take from his game.
I don't think he throws receivers open. He doesn't throw with anticipation, and that's part of being an elite quarterback.
Let me ask you a question: who has more interceptions, Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts this year?
This year, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. Who has more interceptions, Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts this year?
Well, I know Jalen Hurts only has 1, so Mahomes.
Yeah. Well, let's just say I think Jalen Hurts might have the least amount of interceptions in the entire league. He doesn't turn the ball over.
It's not just interceptions. He checks it down a lot.
No. Well, that's because this is what I try to tell people. I think that everyone is trying to analyze the quarterback position wrong because we look at.
But
let me ask you a question.
I know.
Let me ask you a question. Hold on. Let me put it
I got another point, but go ahead.
Let me put it in perspective. If you have quarterback A, and quarterback A throws for 150 yards, 15 for 20, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and quarterback B throws, let's just say, 20 for 30, 320 yards, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. Who had a better game?
I'm going with the touchdowns.
Right. So quarterback A had the better game because he had 2 touchdowns to 1, no interceptions, and then there was 2 interceptions with quarterback B. Okay? Jalen Hurts' stats always look a lot like quarterback A, where he's thrown 2 or 3 touchdowns. He 15 for 20, maybe I think 15 for 20 was literally his ratio last game, and about 150, 170 yards, maybe 200 or so, whatever. I think we focus so much on the, like, if we see 320 or
I'm not trying to focus on the stats. Like, there's more to the game than stats, which you are bringing up, by the way. It's like what I see on the field. Like, I think Hurts misses throws. That's why he doesn't throw that many picks, because he doesn't throw in the tight windows. He throws guys
okay, so why are we penalizing him for not playing irresponsibly? Because
some guys like Burrow sometimes has to throw it in tight windows. Lamar, Josh Allen, Mahomes, they have to. They have to because sometimes the receivers aren't open, and Jalen Hurts will be like, he'll hold on to the ball and just try to scramble or throw it away. And listen, sometimes you got to do that as an elite quarterback. Sometimes you just got to be. Sometimes as a gunslinger, you got to throw it. You got to thread the needle, and Jalen Hurts can. I haven't seen it.
Sometimes as a quarterback, and I've heard announcers say this, analysts, I've heard Tom Brady say it. Like, sometimes as a quarterback, the correct throw is just to throw the ball away or check it down, because anything else will cause a turnover when you don't need it. The reason Jalen Hurts doesn't have a lot of turnovers is because, and the reason he has less turnovers than all the guys I just named, all of everyone's favorites, the top five, that group, that little group, he has less turnovers than them. Why? Because he's not reckless with the ball. He refuses to be, because that's going to be the thing that is a detriment to his team every time. Notice that year, the collapse year, he had a lot of interceptions, right?
Why? 23 touchdowns, 15 picks. It was bad.
It was bad. Why? He was reckless with the ball. They wanted him to, like, throw into these tight little windows. And guess what? That's why you see Dak a lot of times with the end of the year with 10 interceptions, 12 interceptions. That's why you see Patrick Mahomes doing the same thing sometimes. That's why you see these guys. So while we're praising the fact that they can throw it into tight windows, that's not always the right play. That's playing hero ball, and that fucks your team.
You do have a good point. Sometimes you need to play hero ball, but sometimes you gotta take some. That's why those four, because they're so elite at what they do, they can get in their way of trying to make the hero play instead of making the smart play. My thing is, like, I don't think Jalen Hurts is elite because he can't make those Superman plays. He'll make, like you said, he's a game manager.
He's a
really good game manager. And like you said, you can win with a game manager. You've seen that you've seen that multiple times. Joe Flacco, Nick Foles, Brad Johnson, Peyton Manning, his second ring, that he was a game manager then. He's not a game manager, but Peyton Manning, his second ring, that year he was. So you can win, and it's been proven. But you need elite defense, elite O-line, elite weapons, which he has. And let me bring up this next point. This is going to tie into...
The O-line's been really bad this year, by the way. So that's not true.
You still have elite tackles. You still have Landon Dickerson. You still have
who's been hurt half the year, by the way.
Oh, okay. The Chargers have three of the best O-line. Mekhi Becton's one of them. Been out for like most of the year too.
Yeah.
But you don't give Herbert excuses because
we also remember something. We also lost the greatest center to ever live. Okay.
Yeah.
After the Super Bowl.
Yeah. You still
so we lost him, and
you drafted well. Listen, you drafted well. Cam Jurgens is serviceable. He's no Jason Kelsey, but he's still good.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is Howie does a great job of drafting. Like, it's been proven. It's just, KD. When KD went to the Warriors, those rings have less value and weight than compared to like a Dirk Nowitzki single ring, a Tim Duncan ring, a Kobe Bryant ring, a LeBron James ring, the Dwayne Wade first ring. Why? It's because Kevin Durant jumped ship from OKC to Golden State. Now, this is not 100% metaphor, but the reason why there's less weight is because, yes, he jumped ship, number one. Number two, Kevin Durant played with a bunch of superstars. It was a super team. It's the greatest team of all time.
So are the Eagles the greatest team of all time?
Well, last year, if you look at top to bottom, hold on, 10-minute mark. I know people weren't giving the respect, the roster pundits.
No, they don't.
Yeah, but I did. You didn't know me then. I did. You could see the roster comparing position groups from the Chiefs. No, sorry. Even the Chiefs and the Eagles. Eagles had the advantage then. The Eagles had the advantage over the Commanders. Maybe the Rams slightly. The Rams had a pretty good roster. But like top to bottom, the Eagles had a great roster. And you showed that. And yes, I would say last year the Eagles, probably one of the best rosters of all time. I'm not.
So let me ask you a question. Would you consider Joe Montana elite?
Of course, and
Would you consider Steve Young elite?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, those two guys played with fucking Jerry Rice.
Okay, Jerry Rice's whole career is dependent on the quarterback, but that's a little tricky.
Hold up.
No, a receiver's pretty much.
We're not about to sit here and do that to Jerry Rice. Okay, relax.
Well, if Joe Montana throws in the dirt 30 fucking times in the game, how is Jerry Rice supposed to catch the ball?
Yeah, well, wait a second. Hold on. My point is,
okay.
My point is it all of a sudden? I think that I think that Joe Montana and Steve Young. Correct. I don't know if you know fully, but don't hold me to this because I'm not sure if it's true. But I think these two people played with more All Pros and Hall of Famers than anybody ever.
I need you to fact check. I need something.
Well, if they haven't, then they played with a hell of a lot. One of them being the greatest receiver of all time. Since when was it? But do we say, well, no, Joe Montana played with Jerry Rice. He's not elite. He had Jerry Rice. No, it's not a slight to a quarterback to have a good team around him. Or have good receivers or have anything else. Because there are plenty of quarterbacks in this league who have great receivers, who have great. How many times have we seen quarterbacks get drafted or traded or signed into perfect situations but cannot make it work? Okay? For example, Marcus Mariota, right? He has great receivers, right? Right now.
Which team? The Commanders?
Yeah, but you got Terry McLaurin and you have fucking Deebo Samuel.
Well, I'll give you some context. Terry's missed all of camp because of that hold in. There's no chemistry with the receiving group at all. No, there's no chemistry. And Mariota's the quarterback too. He's quarterback too. Are you kidding me? He's quarterback too.
He's quarterback too, but my point is, like, we consider him not elite, right? Because it's like he's quarterback too, he's da-da-da-da-da, and he's not doing it. You know what I'm saying? But my point is, I digress. My point is, there have been plenty of quarterbacks who have been put into the perfect situation for them, and they shit it away. They just can't get it done.
What are some examples of quarterbacks in the perfect position? Mahomes is someone I think is in the perfect position. Brady, and they flourished.
No, well, so Mahomes and Brady are the opposite of that. Mahomes really doesn't have much receiving core besides Travis Kelce.
I meant drafted when he was drafted.
Oh yeah, when he was drafted, he got drafted in a perfect situation,
but not now. That's but go ahead. Like
and then the same with who did you just say?
Brady. Brady had a
Brady was also drafted into a situation where it was like, I feel like he wasn't drafted into a great situation. I mean, he really wasn't. I mean, they had a okay quarterback that he was backing up, and then their receiving court was less than stellar. Eventually, they got Julian Edelman, but Julian Edelman really wasn't as good as I think we thought he was. And then he had Gronk. Honestly, he had a very similar situation to Patrick Mahomes. I'd have to do more research on quarterbacks who have gotten, put into good situations and screw it up. But my point is this happened before. I don't think it's a slight to say that, so A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Saquon Barkley on the team. Well, first of all, Saquon Barkley just got there last year. The biggest criticism this year is that Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown aren't getting targets, and this, that, the third. Saquon's been quiet. So who the fuck is winning the games? Like AJ is ending some games with one catch for 6 yards, but somehow AJ's carrying the team. Devontae's carrying the team. Saquon's carrying the team. These three have been quiet as fucking church mice all season. They've had 2 or 3 good games, and Saquon's only had 1. So who is winning the damn game?
Your defense. Dallas Goedert.
Let me ask you a question. How many points has the defense accounted for?
Accounted for?
Yeah.
Well, you held them. You blocked a field goal against the Rams twice.
That's fair. Because we should have lost that. That's fine. But hey, whatever. We'll take it.
I'm going to say Oh, go ahead.
No, my point is like, I think that we need to acknowledge that the quarterback play is what's keeping us in games and what's causing us to win the games. Jalen Hurts makes the right plays at the right time. That's what makes him elite.
Listen, Jalen Hurts is obviously competitive and keeping you, and he's definitely one of the reasons, not the main reason. And I think he makes the safe play because he can't make the Superman play.
No. Stop it. You keep saying he can't. Jalen Hurts has shown time and time again that he can. He's done it. He just doesn't have to do it all the time because it just doesn't call for that. And honestly, why would you, if you see your team in the position to win the game, why would you do anything else besides help your team win the game?
Well, as a quarterback, winning is a stat. It's definitely a skill. So it's like, for him, it's all about winning. I just haven't seen him with like deficiencies. Okay, 2023, he had a bad year. Defense was bad. He still got in the playoffs. You give him credit for that.
Yeah.
I just think I'm properly rating Jalen Hurts as a top 10-ish quarterback with a lot of help. Like I said, he's a support actor, not the lead. Give me your top five. He's a Draymond. Okay, right now.
No, yeah, stop that. You say he's a support. He's literally running the offense.
He's a Draymond Green. Yeah, Draymond Green runs the offense.
Jalen, you know that dagger throw that he threw to Devontae last on Sunday. That was Jalen Hurts called.
Dagger?
Okay?
You put belt to ass on the Giants. There's no dagger.
No, what I'm saying, like the dagger, the dagger play, the one thrown to Devontae Smith, the one that just put it out. You know what I'm saying?
First of all, it's the Giants. Second, once Cam went down, the Giants had no chance. Giants had no chance once Cam went down. Cam Scatterbo got injured. Giants had no shot, bro.
What do you mean?
Gonna win that game.
Giants just beat our ass.
Yeah, but they had Cam Scatterbo. Once Cam Scatterbo went out, they were cooked.
Let's be real. Let's be real about this, see? Because Cam Scatterbo wasn't doing shit prior to getting hurt.
Culture, energy, he has the intangibles. Like he was helping him and Dart with like the dynamic duo, like you said. Like
no, I agree. But they up to the point that he got hurt were not. They weren't doing anything. I mean, they scored one touchdown.
He's their best running back, and they were keen on him in the run game. Like it opened up the passing game.
Yeah, and big ups to him. I mean, honestly, we said it yesterday. You know, hope he heals up. You know, great player. You know, I saw a tweet or something like that where he like thanked everybody in Philly who was hospitable to him and. You know, like
yeah. Let's not be sentimental right now. We're running out of time. We only got like a minute 40 left. So
okay. But yeah, all in all, to wrap up my sentiments, so we could go on about this all day. I can do this all day long.
I could do this all day too. Yeah.
To wrap up my sentiments, I think that the ceiling for some reason is higher for Jalen. I feel like people are more critical of him, and I think it's because he's wearing that Eagles green. It's always been that way. They did it to McNabb, they did it to Vic, they did it to Wentz, they did it to Foles, they did it to everybody. Oh, he can't. Well, Jalen Hurts goes out and he does, and he shows that he can, and I love it.
I want you to look. I think it's on Thursday. The Herd. Colin Cowherd has Greg Cosell. 50 years something NFL films. He watches film all day, every day, and he even says. Hurts is just a limited passer. That's why I can't put him elite. He's very good.
Well, I have another guy who does film breakdowns.
An Eagles fan?
No, he's not an Eagles fan. He does film breakdowns for all the teams. And the guy that I watch actually like references his stuff a lot. But
we're running out of time. Let's wrap up.
My bad.
Go ahead, Jay.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. All right. Hopefully, you guys tune in next week. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Not a lot of season left, and some more sports to talk. So, I'm Jay.
I'm Z Shaw. Peace. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know. Back at it again next week.
Back at it again, baby.